look into it. It wasn't in the minute thing.
You know what's funny? How we all started this whenever we were all able to get like a background. We all put our logos behind us, and then slowly each one of us took it off. Now the only one is Lola.
And I will keep mine because I have a messy background.
Well, I mean, you can blur. I mean, you can blur it. It's not really that bad, and you can.
Yeah,
set
you
the
think mine's
intensity.
not messy? You were here like half an hour ago.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, I feel like mine left because I was lazy and I was just leaving the background removal for when I stream.
Yeah, you
Does that
can't
make
see
feel any
anything.
better?
I mean, I can kind of, but honestly, you call that messy? Literally, I've
Mind your
gone. I've
business.
I just see a
please.
remote.
I've gone through periods where it's been such.
She's
a fucking
gone through
disaster,
periods too.
Like you can't.
Yeah, every month since the age of 12.
Well, no, there's been points where like you can't even fucking see like the floor in my goddamn room. Like that's how
Oh yeah, you can't see the floor of mine.
disastrous.
Because you have a
I
carpet.
have 2 carpets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't like it.
That's okay. You do what you gotta do. You just, yeah.
That's fine.
I like that better. It feels more like enclosed.
Well, I mean, you could always set up some kind of curtain behind you if you wanted
Man,
to.
that's more money.
We broke out here.
We'll buy you a little like pop-up thing where you just enclose yourself in a little studio thing.
That's
That
a
way-
great idea
That'd be
for me.
yeah, that'd be really good.
You gotta put the computer in it though, so I don't know how it would work. Maybe it's just it's just a little the little not the green screen, but something that curve around you.
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
There's some showers that you just. Oh, the ones that they have at the hospitals.
Oh.
Let's give you an exam to the computer.
There will be no echo whatsoever.
Oh, shh.
All
My
right.
god.
Archive podcast. We are going to be talking about. We are going to.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, but who the hell cares about wildlife anyway?
Right. We're over.
Justin, you're introducing today. Just kidding. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Nerd Archive podcast. My name is SUES. With me, as always, we have Lola, Yadi. We got Justin. We missed you, Justin, last week. We missed you. Sarah was complaining that you've been asking her to be on the show, and the one episode that she's on, you're not. However,
through no fault of my own, I won't go into detail. But
right. But how are you feeling
at this point? I'm feeling pretty fucking.
How'd the colonoscopy go? It went great. Okay, fantastic. Was it 1 or 2 fingers?
It was.
Seems like he had a lot of fun. I would say too.
Yeah. Did he slip 3? Did he at least pay for dinner?
Why are you confusing your experiences with mine?
Well, the 3 was mine. The 2 was you. My doctor looked at me and was like, dude, you came in last week. Stop it. Stop it. Like, my fingers hurt. I'm like, speak for yourself, buddy. Like, I'm ready to go. How are we all doing today? How was your week?
Fantastic. Well, I'm not as good as yours, apparently.
No, not at all. Not at all. I say that, but it was just work.
Pretty much.
Sometimes at work, it's like, bend over, grab your ankles.
Yeah, I get that.
The bike week started over here, so
Oh yeah.
yeah. Which is funny because we're about like 30 minutes on highway from where everything is,
Mhm.
and we still got the bikers.
Of
and
course.
we're 30 minutes on highway and a mile and a half off the highway, so people still found our restaurant. So it was great. Fun fact: the restaurant I work for, they had an event not yesterday, but not yesterday. Today's Tuesday. 2 days ago. The Sunday before, we had Vanilla Ice.
Woo.
They were doing a charity event that everything of the sales would go to a local charity organization.
Nice.
And
Pretty cool.
they got $83,000.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
They have a goal to surpass it.
Yeah, the goal was 25,000.
Okay. That's pretty great.
Yeah, no. So what happened was Vanilla Ice was there. He was partnering with us to do the charity event. And the whole thing was because he has a show coming out of something about his house and like the journey of building his dream home and whatever. Which I didn't know he was still worth. His net worth is $10 million. I didn't know that.
There's
So
royalties still that,
right.
Of course.
money.
But he still has to pay Queen for him. He still has to pay royalties to Queen. So, because of the lawsuit of the one hit that he had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, with that being said, the whole show, like the first episode, was they shot a couple scenes the first time he walked into the restaurant I work for. And the last episode, it's literally the charity event.
Gotcha.
So they open the show at our restaurant and they close it out at our restaurant. So that's pretty cool. So that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And the funny part is that this one dude, obviously, where this particular location is, it's very expensive houses. It's by the beach. There's mansions and millions of dollars worth mansions. This dude, he's like, I'm gonna donate $10,000. But he told this to Vanilla Ice, and he said, I'll donate $10,000 if you match me. He's like, not only that, I'll race you. And Vanilla Ice donated 15. So just the two of them was 25 grand.
Nice.
So that was
Not
pretty
bad.
good. That was pretty cool. And then he ended up the night with a concert, small concert. Apparently he's releasing new music, so that's pretty cool. So
Crazy.
minute.
After how many years?
yeah, his story is crazy though. His story is crazy. It went from like growing up and then making this huge hit to hitting rock bottom to the point where he was like breaking and entering and getting arrested, and now going back to rebuilding. Now he's actually like investing and
Oh yeah, he does a lot of real estate, doesn't he?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. So he has a lot of things going on. So good for him. Good for Vanilla
yeah.
Ice.
He was the first rapper I ever listened to, like in English.
Oh really?
Yeah,
The one
because
song?
because I will like it's not because of that song. It's more of the ninja rap. 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously it was a
Ninja
Turtle,
go.
and
Go.
then
He sang that at the
he did.
yeah.
That's cool that he still does it. I thought he would be tired by it now.
Yeah, no.
But and recently I actually showed my kids that because they were playing with Ninja Turtles in Fortnite. So I told him, hey, this is the first movie I watched, and show him the video.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
So, all right. So, moving on from that, because that was an awesome experience. For the people that worked it, I work at a different location, so I wasn't there, but whatever.
Well, darn.
Yeah. I was going to, and then at my store, we have some people that called out, so I'm like, okay, I got to stay. So, but it is what it is. Things happen for a reason. So, the main thing that we're talking about today, Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Justin, please take it away. You know how to explain it better.
What happened to Nintendo?
Well, everybody pretty much knows the story by now, and I figured they would probably want to get our take on it, because it's an actual company, which I think some people's opinion might have been like that was one of their mistakes, because the developers of an emulator called Yuzu, and also some of them also did work on the 3DS emulator Citra. This company called Tropic Haze, it came under fire from Nintendo because of all of the shit that they've been doing, not simply with the emulator. And what's funny is, like, I'm a big proponent of emulators. I use a lot of them on my PC, not as much as I used to, because there's a lot of other shit that I'm doing, with this and other content creation and whatnot. So, maybe we'll have to change that one of these days. But the way those developers were doing it, honestly, because emulation is basically a legal gray area. So the emulators themselves, up until this point, are not illegal, because the majority of them don't use anything that can be traced back to needing anything proprietary for the original system or the system's developers or anything like that. And so you can use that. The issue is with the ROMs.
Right.
And so they've taken down a number of, ROM distribution sites and things like that. And rightfully so. You don't really need to be distributing, because literally doing that is illegal. And there's
Piracy.
no gray area there. Exactly. And so what's funny is, like, I'm all about game preservation, being able to still have access to and play things that you wouldn't normally get to play otherwise, because some of the companies, they just, they move on and they forget about these games and you can't find them anywhere. And so some of these ROMs are the only way you're ever able to play a lot of the stuff. The issue is, and a lot of people are taking the Tropic Haze's side, and they're the victims. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I'm siding with Nintendo on this, because the way Tropic Haze went about this, they were actively promoting, and some people may not know this, but they were actively promoting piracy. And not just that, but they're offering services that allowed them to circumvent their proprietary encryption and stuff in order to get access to play their games on this emulator.
Right.
And basically being able to, and this is the thing, dumping your own games is one thing. That's not really that's not really a big deal. I mean, Nintendo still doesn't like it, but it is what it is. But you're literally facilitating piracy, and proudly, mind you, on their fucking Discord, which I'm not sure, but I think that's also being taken down as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's already down.
Oh yeah, and not just that. A big part of why they are being targeted as well is they're making money off of this. They have a Patreon, and that in and of itself wouldn't be a bad thing. But when you're locking feature updates behind a Patreon paywall,
right?
And then you've got people that are rushing to the defense. Oh, it's a donation. You don't have to do this. Blah blah blah. Well, when you're locking early access updates behind a Patreon paywall, and you're locking feature access, to be able to play games like Tears of the Kingdom, because that game was actually leaked, I think, 1 to 2 weeks early before it ever hit store shelves. And a lot of the developers were just churning this stuff out, and they were making money off of it through their Patreon to the tune of I think like $30,000 a month. And you had ROM distribution going on their Discord and all of this stuff, and just people just going back and forth. And not only were these emulator developers not doing anything about it, they were actively promoting it. And
That was the problem.
right, they were actively promoting it and fucking encouraging it, giving the middle finger to Nintendo. And it's like, you actually thought that they weren't going to take notice and do something about it. A lot of people are asking, like, I'm sure they've known about it for a while, but it makes you wonder, why didn't they do anything about this sooner? But there's a lot of theories going around, and people asking questions. Maybe it's an effort to protect what they have coming up with their new hardware and things like that. Maybe it's the same architecture as the Switch 1, with them trying to bring in like backwards compatibility and things like that. And then I heard one person say, "Oh, they're gonna use Yuzu source code and all this stuff to bring backwards compatibility to the Switch 2." Newsflash, folks, the Switch 2 is pretty much done. You can pretty well assume. So whatever it is they can gain from this would probably be minuscule. So it is what it is. And so basically they were just, the Yuzu developers were poking the bear with a stick, essentially.
Right.
And you had to figure eventually they were going to respond, and respond they did. Now, Tropic Haze lawyered up, but I think their lawyer quickly realized, well, I mean, too late or not, I think their lawyer quickly realized that they have, and this is what people don't seem to realize, with everything that's out now, with everything that we know, all the information that's out, Nintendo had a far stronger case than a lot of people are willing to admit. And they would have, and if they had decided to take this to trial and fight, they would have lost quickly. And a lot of people are saying,
Tropic Haze.
they would have, Tropic Haze would have lost, period, because they didn't have a chance in hell. Even if they did have a strong enough case against Nintendo to fight this, Nintendo would have drug it out anyway, because they have the money and they have the time in order to do that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they settled immediately. It never went to trial. So the only positive spin I suppose you can put on this is the fact that it didn't go to trial. It doesn't set a precedent, I don't think, for other emulators.
Right.
So, so they basically have to hand over everything that they have for the work that they've done, any modified equipment that they have, any modified Switch consoles that they have, all the software, source codes and all that stuff. They have to hand that over to Nintendo. They have to shut down their website by a specific date. They've already changed their website, so when you go on their website, it only shows just one page with their explanation, which I won't get too far into it, but it's just it's a bullshit, almost like a lawyer-led statement that they made, basically saying, they basically had a gun to their head and were forced to say this,
right, and
basically blame the fans or blame piracy and things like that, and whatever. When you're the hypocrisy there is just it's fucking ridiculous, because it's like you're blaming these nefarious users when you yourself were not only engaging in this but actively encouraging it, giving the middle finger to Nintendo. And it's just like you're catering to these people that are actively trying to hurt the company, yet it's not, I mean, it's not going to succeed because they've made a shit ton of money despite it, and these people were never going to buy their games. They were never going to buy their games anyway. And you get people that are like, oh, well, maybe if they just put their games on PC, then this wouldn't be an issue. It would still be an issue even if they did put their games on PC.
Of course.
But they never, then they probably never really sell as much hardware ever again. And that's still like one of their biggest, most lucrative things is their gaming hardware.
Which is funny because compared to the other two,
right,
they make the money off the games.
Oh yeah, and also compared to the other two, it's like ridiculously underpowered, and yet it's sold like a dozen times more than the other ones.
Right.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And
plus the subscription, like the Nintendo Online stuff,
And so they're basically and also as part of like they have to pay Nintendo about $2.5 million in this settlement as well. So that's going to come out of all the money basically that they've made over the course of their development of this emulator, and they're not allowed to work on. And like this is a court order. Like this is pretty much ironclad. Like they're not going to waste time appealing this. It's gonna stick, and so they're not allowed to work on any emulator ever. Which means by extension, some of them were working on the 3DS emulator Citra, and so by extension, that's dead. So pretty much all development on that has to stop. So they Nintendo, I guess, got a 2-for-1 on that one. And like I said, I'm all for emulation because I've done it and I still do. But the biggest difference is I'm not going to sit there and I get it. Yeah, the Switch games are going to run better on PC. You run them at 4K, 60 frames per second, blah, 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 which is something that Nintendo can't do right now, whatever. I'm still not going to run emulation on a system that is currently in production and is actively dropping games and still selling like fucking hotcakes. Simple as that. I'm going to continue to support the companies that are putting out the games that I enjoy and have enjoyed for many, many years. And the funny thing is, like I'm not completely without blame in this, because I've been in that position before where I've been like a massive pirate because I've done it during like almost the entire, legitimately. And I've said this before, during the entirety of the Wii's life cycle.
We're gonna get you down.
Uh-oh. No, during the entirety of the Wii's life cycle, I literally bought maybe only 4 games. And then after I figured out how to modify the Wii, I didn't buy a single one. But after that, when the Wii U came out, I completely gave that up. Like I started once again supporting these companies because they're putting out the games that I actually enjoy. So
I think you're good on that statement because I think that you're out of the statute of limitation when it comes to piracy.
Well, I mean, at this point, nobody really cares about the Wii or the Wii U and things like that and that's the thing though, when the Wii U hit end of life, I modified that thing, dumped all of the games that I owned, and just started playing them from those backups from an external hard drive. Like,
so when did the Wii U died off? Like day 2 of release?
I probably like a couple of weeks after. I don't know exactly when I started doing that, but yeah, no, I literally just I just said fuck it. Like when they stopped supporting the system, and when they when no updates were coming out, no games were coming out, I'm just like, all right, this hit end of life, and so I'm looking into what I can do to do this. And so I dumped all my games. Admittedly, I did sell them after that. I sold all my physical games because I'm like, I'm hurting for space in this small ass room anyway, so it is what it is. And so like once a system hits end of life and it's not being supported, I get it. Fuck it, do the emulation, and preserve these games that are probably going to not going to see the light of day anymore.
Right.
But just don't fucking do it when you have a system that's still actively being developed and has games being released for it still. Like, it literally doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't make any sense. And not only that, but I think that what they were trying to do is probably, like you said, Nintendo, they stopped this company, which was probably the biggest company with emulators.
There's at least
Or the
three
most popular.
others. There's at least 3 others that I know of.
Right.
Switch emulators out there right now, but they're all based in countries outside the U.S.
Right.
And so their laws are probably a bit different. So
Right.
I'm not sure how well they're going to fare if they do try to go after these other ones.
Right. So, and you said that any emulators that they wanted to do, they can't because of this lawsuit. So, which means that they cannot do the emulator for the new one, for the new console.
But it's not going to stop other people from picking this up because
Right.
it's it's open source. So all the work that they've been doing at this point, I mean, it's out there on the internet. So you're not going to completely be able to kill it. Like, once it's out there on the internet, it's out there forever. Period.
Okay. Right.
And so there will be other people that will pick this up and continue their work. And so it's basically just kind of a cat and mouse game with as far as this and Nintendo goes, I think.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to set an example. You do this, we're gonna come after you.
Oh yeah.
But does this lawsuit? I know you said that it prohibits this company to do it, but what is it to say that the same people start up a new company, a new LLC, or a new corporation?
The individual members at this point are forbidden from doing any kind of work on any other projects that pertain to emulation.
Okay.
Period. It's
So
not
even
just
if
it's
they
not just the
get
companies.
separated and start working for different companies, they personally cannot.
It's the individual bad actors within that company that they are pretty much forbidden from working on it. Now, will that stop some of them from doing it anyway, kind of behind the scenes? Probably not. I have a feeling some of them might still wind up doing that, but who's to say? And
A
who's
shell
to say
company.
whether
A shell company.
Well, I mean, they may not even they may not even start another company, because most people just do this. Most people do it as a hobby. Like, they don't really start LLCs, and it's because that's literally what they did when they were working on this. And they started the LLC, they had the Patreon, they were making money off of this. There's another, I think the other most well-known Switch emulator at this stage is what the fuck was it called? Ryujinx. And they've been a thing almost just I think as long or a bit longer than Yuzu has, and they were a big part of it was the whole Tears of the Kingdom thing.
Right.
And it got leaked several weeks early, and I'm assuming it's probably somebody with like a review copy or some shit like that, which, to be honest, wouldn't surprise me, because it happens all the time. You get people with review copies, and then they leak the entire game out there, and I hate when that shit happens, because it's like, I don't want, like, if it's and especially with a game that I'm looking forward to, like I did with Tears of the Kingdom, I don't want to know anything about that right now. Like, I want to be able to be completely surprised. That's why when I heard about the leaks from Tears of the Kingdom that were coming out, I'm like, I steered clear of social media for as long as I could, until release day, when I had the game and downloaded it and started playing it. Because I didn't want to have to deal with that shit. Like, because that's not, for me, that's not cool.
Right. And these people that put their sweat and tears into these games to develop, now you have these emulators that are taking donations.
Mm-hmm.
in making a fraction per game because of donations, but selling a lot of copies, it hurts the business. And at the end of the day, if Nintendo isn't making money, guess what's going to happen?
Oh yeah. Well,
I don't understand how some people would think that creating something that basically somebody else created and you just put it through another software and whatnot. How do you think you're not gonna get caught or have to pay for, distributing something illegally, basically? Even though it was legal to have the emulator and whatnot, but still, like it's like you're basically bootlegging games.
Right.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and therein lies the problem, because it literally, like, a lot of people get into it with the best intentions, but it does have that unintended side effect of just it completely opens the door to piracy, and you're getting copies of these games that are being distributed online illegally. And emulation nowadays is a lot more difficult than it used to be. Like, you can like Nintendo and Super Nintendo emulators, I mean, they're a dime a dozen. Your best ones are, I think, like SNES 9X, and there's one other one that's like that's really good, but it doesn't utilize any of Nintendo's proprietary stuff. And so, but it was easier back then. It's not as easy now, and I don't think, like, you're not able to get away with being able to utilize these games without a way to break Nintendo's proprietary encryption.
Right.
And that in and of itself is, I mean, that's clear cut. That's clear cut violation of DMCA. Between that and the money that they were making on this, and the fact, like, come on, like, don't hide your fucking development behind a Patreon paywall, and don't, like, they literally, this is an example of an emulation group that did everything wrong and was very open about it.
And then ruin it for everyone.
And that's what fucked it. And no, that's what fucked them up. Now, will it destroy the emulation scene? Probably not. That's unlikely. Will it set it back a little bit? Maybe. It depends on what they do. It depends on what they do going forward.
Right.
They can't do anything.
Well, now that's the thing. It's like you're not going to completely kill emulation. It's just not, it's never going to happen. And that's the thing. I support emulation. Like I said, I absolutely support it, because there are certain games that I wouldn't be able to fucking play otherwise. And some of these companies, like Nintendo, for as much as I fucking love Nintendo, they're not without their faults.
Right.
Literally, some of the decisions that they make, seem like really boneheaded decisions, and you just got to go with it. And honestly, that's why I think game preservation and emulation is a good thing. But that caveat, I would say, stay away from the shit that's still in active development. You want to emulate the old stuff from like the Wii U and the Wii and the GameCube and all that stuff. Do it. More power to you. Like, you're not gonna catch me arguing against it, because I would do it myself. It's fucking great. But at this point, leave the current generation of systems, leave it alone. But there are those that, like, they do it simply for the fact that they're never going to buy their games in the first place.
Right.
And they're like, fuck Nintendo, blah blah blah. This is anti-consumer practices, blah. Like, that's one of my favorite ones, is like, oh, Nintendo, typical, doing anti-consumer practices. Really? Based on what exactly is this anti-consumer? putting an end to an essentially illegal fucking emulation and ROM distributing, because it's a part of what they were doing. And they were also providing ways to circumvent the encryption and all that stuff. They were literally telling people how this was getting done and how you could do it and where you could get the tools to do it.
Right. And one of the reasons, and you just said it, that Nintendo went after these people was because if they would have done things that Nintendo's not making money off of anymore, because they're not producing Game Boys, they're not producing Wii U's, and so they're not making money off new games of those systems because they're not producing them anymore.
Oh yeah.
But now you're going after their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna come after you.
Pretty much.
Especially even before a game comes out. That's
right.
The stupidest thing they did.
That's fucking.
You poked the bear.
Just fucking ridiculous. Absolutely.
And cover yourself with honey, like.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you didn't just poke the bear. You smacked it over the head with a stick, and you didn't think there was going to be a response.
You stay looking at it.
Right. It's like seriously. It's like you decided to you poke the bear, and when it turned around, you smacked it over the head, flipped it off, and said, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" Yeah, well, guess what? They did something, and now you're fucked.
2.4 million slaps.
Yeah, literally, they have to shell out almost $2.5 million, and everything that they have that allowed them to work on this project, they have to turn over to Nintendo. All of it. Every bit of software, hardware, all of that. So,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
This is my last penny.
Oh fuck.
Here's my laptop. Here's my.
Oh, yeah. Well, you think about it. With the amount of money that they made over, and you think about this, 7 years the Switch has been out, and with the amount of money that this company has made developing this emulator. Upwards of $30,000 a month. They've got money squirreled away. Probably not enough to completely pay off the amount that they're being asked to pay off, but still, like.
And if they were smart, which I'm not condoning this, but if they were smart, they were putting in their books that they were using a lot of that money for development. And not for their personal accounts.
Pretty much. Like literally, not only was it like they were making it plain as day that you are funding the development of this and you are funding what we do, and not just that, but you're putting feature updates and all that stuff behind that Patreon paywall.
Right.
Which is something that Ryujin has not been doing. I think they also have a Patreon, but they're not as blatant about it, and they don't put their feature updates and things like that. They don't put stuff like that behind a paywall.
Right.
So you're not having to shell out money in order to get access to things to make sure that your games work on these emulators. And so that's why I think up to this point, Ryujin has been spared. And then there's one or two others. I think Ryujin is based in Brazil. And so their laws are different. So I'm not sure how exactly how that works. So, yeah.
All right, let's take a pause real quick while Lola gets herself situated. Hi, welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
The reason I paused is because, do you have anything else on this?
I do not.
Justin?
No, I think we can close this one out. Honestly, my opinion is this happened pretty much exactly the way I thought it was going to happen, and exactly the way I felt it should have happened.
Right.
Like I said, as much as I enjoy emulators and as much as I use them, this was stupid, and I'm siding with Nintendo here. And like I said, it's going to be a controversial opinion in certain circles, but I literally don't care. Fight me. I don't give a shit.
Fight him. He said it. He said it here, guys.
Live.
All right. So one second. I'm seeing memes on Twitter about the whole debacle, and as a picture of emulated games, $0. And it's literally Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 64,
Hmm.
and then emulated games sold by Nintendo, $60.
Yeah, you
So-
have that side too.
I was gonna say they're like I said, Nintendo's not without their faults. Like their pricing does get kind of ridiculous at times, and the fact that they like this is a big kind of a big gripe with me. But I generally like the games that I want to play, I'll buy new, like right then and there when they come out. I won't wait for a lot of times I won't wait for the prices to drop or sales and things like that, because a sale on Nintendo first party titles, they're few and far between.
Right.
And like they're pretty much all of their first party titles are still full price from launch. Like the launch titles that they put out are still fucking $60. I'm just
Yeah.
like, why?
Right.
Why? Like that's a massive gripe that I have with Nintendo, is like their pricing structure and how few and far between their sales are. And it's like, seriously, like these games, like you probably sell a lot more of them even to this day, and they still do. Don't get me wrong. Games like Mario Kart, which never goes on sale, and yet it's still the best selling game on the system to date.
Right.
It's crazy, but it's just like, for me, that's like, for some people, that's enough reason for them to do some of this stupid shit that they're doing. It's like, oh, I can't support them because of this, and that. And I'm just like, to each their own. To
Right.
each their own. It's like, but to be honest, from my perspective, these people are a very, very small minority of, the gamers that have what we have and support these companies.
Someone else posted reason number 383 to pirate Nintendo shit. You can find on Amazon Pokemon Black version for $352 from Nintendo DS.
Well, that's physical games are just getting more and more and more expensive. And that's the thing though. Like, people want to point at Nintendo and point the finger at Nintendo for the fact that you said Pokemon Black version is $300+.
That's not them.
That's not Nintendo's fault.
Right.
When they don't make the games anymore and you can't find them and games become more and more rare, they're going to get more and more expensive. That's every fucking game you're ever going to have and ever going to see.
Right.
It's not strictly a Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. It's like whatever they want to do, whatever they want to say to help them justify it. Like whatever helps you sleep at night. You know?
Right. On a side note, jumping off real quick to Star Wars.
Ooh.
They're releasing the complete first season. I don't know why they call it a complete series of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor on Blu-ray and 4K.
Cool.
Yeah. That, and then fun fact. The last two DC games, Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. They were terrible.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That doesn't surprise me at all.
But the fun fact is that it took 14 writers to write Gotham Knights. It took 26 writers to write Suicide Squad. The reason I say that is because it only took 2 writers for Arkham Asylum, 3 writers for Arkham City, 5 writers for Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight 7 writers.
It's like a group project.
Yeah.
The more people you have, the worse it's gonna be. I mean,
Yeah, you're always
Pretty
gonna have that
much.
one guy that's just gonna show up at the end and say, I helped. He brought the coffee.
I did my part.
Brought the
Yeah.
donuts.
I brought the donuts, guys. I
Shit.
set up where we were gonna meet. So that's
Coordinated everything.
Yeah.
Anything? You good?
The one guy that contributed maybe 1 or 2 things and was basically the low level bitch that they assigned like for coffee and donut runs. It's like, nope, you stay over
Yeah.
here. You can get us coffee and donuts and bagels.
he
and
could
things
probably
like
would
that.
have done a better job than the other ones.
Stay here. Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Something that shouldn't be touched because it shouldn't have been made in the first place. Twilight remake will be an animated series.
Oh god damn it.
Hold on. The Tim Jacob Twilight?
Yes.
Is it gonna be
Yes.
voiced by the original
No.
No.
people?
Good luck getting Robert Pattinson in that fucking project.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's not
god.
gonna do that.
He's like,
Yeah.
no, Batman.
Why though? Why is it? No, you know what? I'm not even gonna get.
I
to this
don't know.
again.
It was literally just on there, but that's all it said. There
We
was no
never
link
should've-
for a news article, no
Everybody's-
nothing.
Everybody's reaction is like,
Yeah.
We never
fine.
should have humored this in the first place.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. Twilight has a really big like fan group.
yes.
Yes.
So,
And-
on other news, on Xbox official Twitter, they said that they are releasing a special edition SpongeBob Xbox Series X with a wireless
Oh, yeah.
controller.
Saw
The
that.
Best Buy.
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, Best Buy. It's coming out March 7th.
So 2 days.
Not a SpongeBob fan, but
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It
it's a
looks
talking
cool,
piece.
but
Yeah, it's a talking piece. So
oh yeah, no, it's definitely a conversation starter for sure.
yeah, and I'm definitely I'm not a SpongeBob person, but the controller looks fantastic.
so you're gonna get it.
The controller probably.
If they sell the controller separately,
No, in
Which I doubt.
Xbox they will.
never know.
They did the
Not-
same with
not
the
right away.
Spider-Man. The Spider-Man controller, they sold it separately, but it sold out.
Of course.
So,
I'm assuming that was a limited run though.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Sonic 3, They-
Ooh.
they released the teaser, which
Oh, I haven't
literally
seen that.
was a teaser. All they showed was Shadow,
Oh,
and it was a shadow of Shadow.
They show him in the last movie
Right.
waking up. That's it.
I cannot.
I guess they show
fucking
more
wait.
there than in the teaser. Let's see.
Probably.
Probably. This is a meme. The gaming industry sucks. Now companies only make cheap cash grab now. Cheap cash grabs. Lethal Company, Baldur's Gate, Helldivers 2.
I will say, a Lethal Company, it is a crappy game. Even though you have fun playing with other people, it looks terrible. And and it's kind of clunky. It's messed up. You cannot play with a controller, which is weird.
Right.
No, you can. It does have partial controller support, but
Didn't support mine.
Mm.
yeah.
Um,
I have to
it's
talk
just,
with.
it's just a messed up game. Like, it's so fucking weird. Helldivers
Yeah,
2
but
though.
It's so
I
much
will
fucking.
say
It's so
it's
much fucking
good.
fun though. And yeah, Helldivers 2 is.
We play for like we started playing at 10 p.m. Right, like at 10:30,
Oh
and
yeah.
then we blink, and it was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Legit. Man.
Yeah.
Legit. It was crazy. Like we dove headfirst into that game and just oh my god, yeah. Before you knew it, it was damn near 2 a.m. And I'm just like, fuck, I gotta get off this and get to sleep. But I want to keep playing.
That's
How much
amazing.
is the game?
Oh yeah. Huh?
How much is the game?
$40
Like
bucks.
$40, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's not bad.
they do have a deluxe version of 60, but $40.
Which I
thought
bought.
it was reasonable. Nowadays, you know how expensive games are.
Mhm.
But I thought that for a $40 game, it was
Oh, yeah.
pretty entertaining. And
Oh yeah.
compare the glow up they did from the first to I never played the first one, but
I haven't either.
when you see videos of it,
Oh yeah.
it is a big glow up.
Nice.
Not the best looking game, but from what it was, yes.
Right. Comparing,
Cool.
it looks
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Have y'all been to McDonald's lately?
Yes. You
I
see
don't eat
the,
fast food, so
the
no.
comics that they have?
Yeah,
that-
so they the whole theme of McDonald's right now, it's anime.
Really?
Yeah, it's their
Like-
bags, their sauces, the boxes for their nuggets, everything is like in Japanese. Instead of McDonald's, instead of an M, it's a W.
Oh, I've seen some of that stuff. I didn't really
And-
pay much attention to it because I'm like, oh, what are they? what are they
And then
doing
you
here?
have the idiots online. This is America. Why are we having stuff in Asian?
Oh god.
So I'm like, oh,
Gee.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's still the same fucking food. I'm just
Yeah.
not like literally nothing's changed. Like you're still eating the same shit.
And
And that's literally
it's-
what it, to me. It's just it's shit.
Dude, is insane
is
because the
shit.
whole theme is it's a comic strip, right?
Mm.
But then the story in the comic strip is this group of friends trying to find this new McDonald's sauce. And it's all advertisement.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is them finding this new McDonald's sauce, which apparently they obviously they sell it right now, but that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty. It's pretty cool because even their cups, little things make me happy.
Yeah, apparently so.
I thought. I mean, the little bit that I did see, I thought it was fairly entertaining. I'm just like, this is interesting.
Yep. I think that's it on Twitter for today. Oh, for those that felt like we were back in the Stone Age today,
Oh,
Facebook
Jesus,
and
yeah.
Instagram was down.
Oh, I was working, so
I
didn't
felt
realize
more in the
it.
Stone Age last week when AT&T went down. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, there goes that.
That was terrible.
Since we
Yeah.
talked about McDonald's, Wendy's, you know, they're funny with their posts and whatnot. They did post something on Facebook, calling everyone to tag Mark Zuckerberg. Let's see what they said.
So,
Yeah.
talking about Wendy's, they're going to roll out a pricing system.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit. They're gonna kill their brand with this.
Yeah.
I
It's
think I
it's
think
only
as
a test.
I think as a business, me as a business, is a great idea to copy, you know, the model of that. But as a customer, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Because
Lola, do you know what we're talking about?
No, I thought you were going to elaborate more. but
I
then
was, and then
stopped.
two of them chimed in, so I'm like, should I talk about it?
Do it.
You might as
So
well, just in case.
so they're gonna do these tests that on peak hours when they're busier, their things are gonna be more expensive,
Like
That's
Uber.
stupid.
and then on slow times, things are gonna be cheaper,
How much cheaper?
Yeah,
probably the
Oh,
regular
curious.
price.
Right. That's the stupidest thing.
that's dumb. That makes no sense.
Is to drive people on slow times, which I understand because they want to make their slow times busy times.
I think
Which-
that
It's the same as happy hour and stuff.
before they start doing all this shit, they should start hiring more people. Because literally the
Yeah.
one down the street closed at 7 p.m. for a while. And this is like,
That's
they say,
crazy.
oh, after the pandemic, I get it, but it's 3 years, 4 years after the pandemic. You should have done something by
Right.
now. I know you can't control people staying at your work, but change the work conditions and then maybe you can
Right.
keep people.
And
But
maybe it's you have to spend the money on hiring people because people are like customers are not going because your service is too slow because you don't have enough people. So
Mm.
you're gonna have to deal with it for a couple of months until people get used to you having a better service by paying, and your labor is going to be higher until
Hey.
you can redeem that reputation of they're doing better, let's go over there.
you're gonna have people stop going because I don't want to overpay for something that I could get cheaper another hour. I can go somewhere else and it's the same price.
Well,
You
and
know, like
a lot of these people, like a lot of these companies are going to start, and you're starting to see it now. A lot of these companies are starting to automate more. So a lot of your front end work is done via kiosk now.
Like
That's
McDonald's.
fine,
Some
but
of
I
these
never
places-
go to a fast food restaurant. I do the drive-through, so it doesn't matter. You still
do the
have to
apps
hire
now,
people.
like-
True
and
enough.
just
Well,
get
yeah,
the
your
app
back
and
end,
that's
yeah,
it.
your back of the house, like the people that actually have to do the work prepping, all that stuff. Yeah, you need those people until
Right.
they automate that as well, because they're looking into it.
Oh,
And
of course.
this whole
years down the
this
line.
whole dynamic pricing structure that Wendy's is doing, it's gonna fail. It's gonna fall flat on its face, and people are just gonna stop going to they're gonna stop going to Wendy's.
Well,
And-
you can go to the White Castle in Orlando. You mentioned automating the stuff. They have a machine doing the burgers at White Castle in Orlando.
I
It's
bet
a
it pumps out
full-on-
a lot of burgers.
I mean, they still have people building the burgers itself, but flipping it is a whole arm just doing all the
Right.
job.
We live in the future, guys. It's weird.
Soon-
Actually,
soon
but
it's
we
gonna-
don't live in the future enough to have that microwave from fucking Spy Kids, so
And
Soon-
more and more stuff is going to get mechanized and automated and things like that. And at some point, the economy, and once again, more shit that I don't like talking about on this podcast, but it's like at some point the bottom is going to fall out to a point where it's not going to fucking recover, and they're going to have to start looking to, new means of sustaining people.
Right.
Soon everything's gonna be subscription based. So instead of having that Uber thing price, now
Bro,
you gotta subscribe
if I
to-
can have a subscription for McDonald's, I pay a monthly and I can just go as many times as I want. We will be like Wally.
I was
They're
gonna
Like the
say,
movie
you're gonna
WALL-E,
end up
where-
like
They'll have-
Wally.
They'll
they're
probably
gonna tell
have.
you they're gonna limit, like, you got up to this amount per month or something.
I'm still gonna be
Oh
fat
yeah,
as
no.
fuck.
That's what I'm saying. They're probably gonna have tiers, like you pay this much and you have access to these specific parts of
These
our
nuts.
menu, and then you pay a little bit more, and then like you go up the next tier, and then you have access to more of the menu. It's
With my luck, the highest tier would be the one with the chicken nuggets.
They're chicken nuggets, though. You can't complain.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to pay the highest one.
Eh. I mean, it's going to wind up causing companies to raise prices because it's going to, because either that or it's just going to, it's going to eat into their profit margin. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a fucking river, But either that or it's just going to wind up putting a lot of these places out of business. It is what it is.
I think the worst customer service right now is Burger King.
I don't remember the last time I was in. Oh, I guess when I went to Puerto Rico. I don't go to Burger King that much.
I like Burger King though. The one on near my job, they're always nice. They always call me, the older ladies always call me baby.
Which is funny because that is the one that I hated the most. They might have changed the
Really?
employees, but dude, I go there and I'm like, can I have a Bacon King? Right now we are out of burgers. I was like, it's in your name.
What?
Okay, so two things to that. One, yes, they do that a lot actually, but every time I go, they're always super nice about it. And
Oh,
two,
okay.
well, they're just like, I'm sorry, baby, I'm ruining your order, and it's like, it's fine, it's not your fault. The other thing is, I want to talk about, since we're talking about fast food and all that stuff, and Burger King having no burgers, Panera Bread keeps having no bread.
Huh.
What the fuck?
The
That's
first
like
time that ever happened to
bread
me,
and
I was
butter.
like 14. I went to a KFC and they were out of chicken.
What?
How do
Yeah.
you run out of the main thing that you're all
And this
about?
was in Chicago, man. Like, it wasn't even Puerto Rico that they couldn't get the fucking chicken delivered there. It was fucking
It's so
Chicago.
stupid.
What the fuck?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
cousin and I went in and we're like, yeah, can I get we're out of chicken. I'm like,
How?
why are you open?
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's
And I have a
Why
cup
are
of the
you open?
grease.
I want to
Yeah,
say that's
right?
bad management. Like seriously, it's like how the fuck do you run out of your your chief ingredient there? Like your biggest selling
It's
point,
in
the
your
entire-
name.
Legit, yeah, literally.
Justin is flabbergasted right now.
Like
You
how
fry
the fuck does that even
breading. Give me a
happen?
cup of breading.
It's like going to Dick's Sporting Goods and they're out of Dick's. Like, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Have you just been driving from Dick's Sporting Good to Dick's Sporting Goods trying to find Dick's?
Yeah. It's weird. Walmart doesn't sell walls.
Neither does Walgreens.
They are green.
No, they're not. They're red.
Well, they do have that green wall that when you ask for a picture. Oh, it's white.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That sucks. What if I ask for it green?
Probably not gonna have it.
Like, I
And
need
then
to
you
cut
can
out my
launch a
picture.
formal complaint about not having green walls at Walgreens.
I'm gonna be that one guy on Twitter. Man, I went to Walgreens today and all their walls were white.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seem all sad.
How
Yeah.
dare they?
It's like Burger King out of burgers.
Jesus
Did you
Christ.
guys see that vegan Burger King that opened up in Puerto Rico?
No.
Google it. It's in the. I think it's in Trujillo Alto. It's a legit thing. Like it's completely vegan. VK.
That's just fucking weird.
The sign is green. Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
Everything is
Fantastic. We'll look at that. Any shows that you guys are watching right now?
Not at the moment.
No.
At the moment. I
Still playing
did
Baldur's
finally.
Gate.
Yeah, I'm still on Helldivers. I did sit down and watch The Machine, that Burt Kreischer movie.
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
You like it?
I love it. It's funny as fuck.
Nice.
Isn't Mark Hamill in it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is dad.
Yep.
Nice. I've been watching SWAT
How's that going?
still. Well,
How long
there's
have you
6.
been watching that? It feels like it's been forever.
Well, we restarted it because
So you
this season 6 came out last month. I think it was. So we restarted. Oh my God.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
What?
La Casa Veggie.
How is it Burger King and then like the Veggie House? You can't. That's counteracts itself. Not counteracts. What's that? Cancels each other out because one's
pretty
burger,
much.
one's veggie.
Well, they have the
Yeah, no.
Impossible Burger.
Yeah, that's basically that. Just impossible stuff.
Just fucking ridiculous.
I'm assuming that their whole menu is
Yeah, it's all
is
vegan.
Impossible Burgers.
Veganism itself just confuses the
15.
shit out of me.
Plant-based. So
Yeah.
they have 15 total. I want to see their menu.
It's funny you mentioned that. The show I'm watching is Resident Alien, and in one of the episodes, he does mention like stupid humans. They eat meat and they can actually live off the vegetables, and I don't know. It just reminded me of that.
It's funny. So I've been seeing Resident Alien on my feed, like to watch, and I'm like, should I watch it? He's funny though, so
Yeah, I think that he should win an award for that character. It's definitely out there. Like the way that he talks and tries to behave as a human. Like I just picture his head as an actor getting into that character. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Just trying as a human trying to be human.
which is probably like just acting normal, but a little bit
No.
like exaggerated.
No, like it's out there. It's really good. You should watch it.
I should.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna tell you much, but yes, it is a great show.
Add it to the
Netflix.
list.
The first 2 seasons are on Netflix, yes, and then I think they already did a 3rd season, and it's somewhere else, Peacock or
Gotcha.
another one, because the Sci-Fi is the one that started it.
Yeah,
But
when Sarah's awake, we watch SWAT, and then when she's asleep, I restarted Supernatural.
no, you should definitely watch this one.
Okay, and then I started Reacher.
What?
And Reacher on Prime,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and it took me 2 weeks to get through the second episode because I was watching it after I got from work,
Pass
and
out?
I would fall asleep in the same spot.
Is that
But-
entertaining?
Well, it is very entertaining. It's
yeah.
actually,
To fall
which
asleep
threw
in
me
the
off
same spot?
because in the same spot because I forget what happened before that. So I would have to restart the episode and I would fall asleep in the same spot. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm just going to start it from where I fell asleep. And then I was lost for a second. And I'm
What
like, you know,
happened?
yeah. I'm like, wait, why are they doing that? And then I should have realized that they were going to mention what happened before. And I'm like, oh, that's what happened. So, but his character is not what I expected. I always thought that he was going to be like this, like mean, like buff guy, the military. And it's completely opposite. It's like he has a soft touch.
Have you
Soft
seen
but
The
sturdy.
Boys?
The Boys, it's the new season is coming out June 13th.
Yeah. I feel like I started watching that late.
Haven't even
and I
started watching
binged
it.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen
Oh,
clips of it,
God.
but
This show
Mm,
is out
mm.
there though. Like you're gonna like it.
I will at some point because it's caught my interest. I'm also waiting on the second half of season 2 of Invincible.
Okay.
The one thing that I saw of The Boys was back when TikTok was a little bit more out there. They didn't have a lot of guidelines. There was a clip of, I don't know her name, but she's supposed to be Wonder Woman
Mm.
She was sitting on a guy's face,
Mm.
and she squeezes her legs, and his head explodes.
Ah,
This is in
Oh,
the
is
first
it that
season.
one? Is it Wonder Woman or the other one? It happened a couple of times. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see her face. I just saw what happened to the dude. I'm like, oh shit.
Was he on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's the other. Yeah. Have you seen it though?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, if you like Invincible, this is a lot like that, but worst.
But
I mean,
worse.
not worse in a bad way. Like I'm saying, like it's bloodier. Like it's definitely bloodier.
Right. Fantastic.
I'll take that challenge because Invincible's pretty fucking bloody.
Invincible is bloody at the beginning. Yeah. I mean, there is some at the end, like after. I watched the whole thing too, um, and I like the show, but this being a human version of it,
Mm.
kinda, it's it's a whole nother thing, man.
Oh yeah.
And then I watched the other show that is from it, and I forgot the freaking name. But they did another show like in the same
Gen
world,
V.
basically. Yes, Gen V, and that's great too. Watch them all.
Mm.
You guys are behind. I thought I was behind things, but
Yeah.
Fun fact. Jason X. It came out in 2001. The first time they see Jason, one of the characters asks, "What's on his face?" He's like, "It's a hockey mask." What is hockey?
Oh my god.
Because it's in the future.
Mhm.
But then someone says, and the reason I bring it up is because we're in the year that they mention in the movie that hockey was outlawed.
it's
So
funny.
no
how we
one
thought-
knows. No
Yeah.
one knows what hockey is in that time frame because it was outlawed in 2024.
Interesting.
I still think that some people don't know what hockey is. It's not like the most famous
Yeah,
sport.
it is up north.
You still have don't you have you guys have a team?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing that I ever created in the world. Like it's the fuck. It's like playing volleyball up here in the fucking winter. And you have indoor stuff, obviously, but
Pretty much.
Well, that's why basketball was created,
why?
because of the winter time. They needed a sport to play inside.
Nowadays, everything can be played inside.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much.
But it was 1892 when basketball was created. And it
Really?
was, yeah.
I mean, from the movie El Dorado, we are told that the Taínos invented it.
Yes. Yes. But it all started with the peach basket and a ball. So
Hence
that's the
name.
difference between the like PE here and PE in Puerto Rico. Because I remember PE in Puerto Rico and they taught me the history of basketball, the history of baseball. Obviously, football they didn't because we don't have football, but they taught us what each position did on the sports. And here, the kids if they don't want to play basketball, they don't know what a point guard is. They don't know that the basketball court is 90 feet.
Yeah, I remember taking those tests now.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me about it,
I think I blacked out during those.
I was interested in basketball, so I paid attention. And
I
So-
also had raging ADHD and was completely unmedicated, so that's also a possibility that I was just not paying attention,
that makes sense.
Which is very common back in the day.
Yeah. It's like the 3-point line wasn't introduced until 1981.
It's a lot of knowledge on basketball, dude.
Yeah, for no fucking reason. Yeah. I can tell you each of the champions from the NBA from 89 to current.
I'm all right, but thank you though. Maybe next
I didn't say I was going to. I said I can do it.
And I politely declined that offer.
That's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter.
I almost said something in that route, but thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You were talking about useless information about basketball, so I gave you useless information.
No, you
No, I told you
mentioned
that I
had
know.
it, and I
Right.
said no, thank you.
I heard what you said,
Yeah.
and I politely declined your decline.
You can do it next episode, and then I'll just come in a bit later.
Sounds good. I won't let you in then.
That's fine. I'll just sleep through it. Sorry.
Sleep it through. All right, so we have come to the end of the episode, right? I think so.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. That wasn't the cue for that one.
Booth.
No, it's the one. It's the one we were supposed to do at the beginning of the episode, but completely fucking forgot about. He's just staring into the fucking camera.
Okay, that's
All right,
it.
guys. Thank you for joining us today. I can see your arm moving. Make sure you go on our website, thenerdarchive.com, to find all of our merch and all of our past episodes just in one place, thenerdarchive.com. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Everything is down below.
Click all the things.
Thank you guys for joining us today. You guys were fantastic. Make sure you stay nerdy, be yourself. This was Lola, Justin, Yadi. My name was Lewis. Is. I don't care. See you next week. Deuces.
My name is Jeff.
Bye.
My name is Jeff.
I.